Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Tyler and this is Dad Built. So today we're going to talk about something that was super fun that I did over the summer last year and in our backyard, and it has just been fantastic. Super pleased with the way it turned out, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So today we are talking about an outdoor fireplace, do it yourself, how to build it. Yeah, I'd never experienced anything like this before. I'm not a mason. I had never done masonry work whatsoever. So this was interesting and I wanted to share it with you guys. So follow along. I'm going to pop in a bunch of pictures throughout the process and do a voiceover so that you guys can check that out. And hopefully some of my photos and my voiceover and just sharing my experience will help some of you guys while you're building your outdoor fireplace. So yeah, here we go. Let's just get into it. Okay, so here we go. I just started by getting a skid loader. I borrowed one from a buddy and just started cutting out the area that I wanted my concrete slab. I was going to do a large slab so that we had a hangout area off of the deck that included the fireplace, but also we could have patio furniture and everything else. So I had to get some sub base here, which is the gravel pile you see behind there. I got that and just prepped as much as I could. I have the forms ready for the concrete guy so I could get a cheaper price. That way he just had to pour it once he got here. So I got my forms in. You'll notice on the side, on the very far right side here, that's the area where the fireplace is going. You're going to want to have an electrical pipe ran through there if you plan on having power for a TV. So you can see that sticking up in the middle. It's actually on the inside of a CMU block on the back here now, but this is where I started. This was my base. I went and got CMU block. It's super cheap. I just started laying out the size of the fireplace that I wanted. You want to make sure it's super level, so always have a level handy. I started mortaring these in and setting these. You just set that base down and then start mortaring everything together. That cutout area or that extra addition of concrete needs to be a thickened slab, like 6 inches thick at least. And then you just start working your way up. You can see the concrete's wet because I had to power wash everything because I was super messy. I've never done masonry before and I learned quickly that it is a messy sport. So yeah, just be prepared in that regard. You'll see here in this next photo of my little working board, I have that piece of plywood and trash can to have my mortar on, so it was just easier to get to. I realized after I asked for some help that I was not installing the CMU blocks correctly. I was not leaving enough space in between the blocks for the mortar joint. I was just kind of making everything tight. Like I said, I'm not a mason, but so far it's held up well. It just is probably not exactly how you should do it, but I went ahead and I started building my way up, and this is the base design right here. I wanted a front hearth area, so I just used the flat concrete blocks for that. I ended up recruiting my grandfather to come help me because he used to be a mason, and he was the one that let me know that I was doing everything wrong. So here's a photo of him. He's 80 plus years old, and he was out here trying to help me, so that was kind of cool. And work through this. But you can see at the top, I have that steel bar, that steel piece. One of the biggest components of this build is to have that go across those front column areas to hold the top portion. When doing that, I ended up actually going into a local welder and I got a steel plate that goes all the way across the center of that, and that duct at the top is cut out in the steel plate. So across the top of my fireplace right here, you can kind of see that is all solid steel. It's 1/2 inch thick, and then I have that L at the very front to kind of go up and hold those front blocks. So I avoided, here you go, you can see on the inside, I avoided using CMU blocks on the inside. Those two that you can see holding up the flue there, those two are sitting directly on that piece of 1/2 inch steel. So I started installing fire brick on the inside. I just picked these up from Menards. Be prepared, these little fire bricks are expensive. They come in packs of 4 and they're pretty fragile. They break easy, but they're necessary. So there's another view of the fire bricks on the inside all done. I laid those in the entire way. This is going to help hold up over time for the excessive heats of the fire. You're definitely going to want to have that, but you can kind of see that steel plate on the top there that I was talking about earlier. And this is what the inside of my firebox is going to look like. So making really good progress. I had to switch from CMU to doing the fire bricks because I was getting bored of the CMU. It's not, exhilarating work by any means, but here I start going up further I know my joints are wrong. Like I said, I'm not a mason, so just when you do yours, make sure you put a thicker joint in between those blocks. You actually are supposed to leave that mortar there. So you can see the 3 holes in the front. I drilled those out with a hammer drill so that I could put rebar in there and mount my mantle on those. And then you can see the flue. I start going up higher with the flue. So mortar with flue together. Here are my little mortar mixers. One thing that I learned not being a mason or having a mason background is the mortar is so key. The consistency of your mortar matters more than anything. My kids are having fun applying a scratch coat here. The scratch coat goes on all the CMU. This helps with your adhering of your stone, which you'll see coming up here. So it was a fun stage for the kids. You can see the scratch block there, or the scratch coat that I put on there. As I start to install some of the stone on the outside, just trying to make it look cleaner and better. I still need to go taller for the flue, but I wanted to start working on the fun, pretty parts. So this is a stone I just picked up. I wouldn't say it's lick and stick because it does require mortar, but you just put the mortar on the stone and you stick it on there. One of the hardest parts of the whole deal is, like I said, consistency of mortar. I completely ruined a wheelbarrow mixing my mortar. That got thrown away. So yeah, just be cautious of where you're putting your mortar and when you clean up all of those things. I was learning as I went. My buddy came over and we wanted to see how the fireplace would pull, so we started a fire on the inside before it was even complete. And as you can see, the flames are going straight up and the smoke was going right out of the flue, which was great. That means it was pulling well and drawing well. You want those to draw well so you don't have smoke coming out of the front of your firebox, especially if you have people around and kids. You want that smoke to go up. Here's my daughter. She's having snacks and already enjoying it. So here's a picture kind of showing just a mess. I had all the pieces of stone laid out. I didn't realize how picking where each little piece of that facade stone was going to go, how difficult that was. But that was part of the challenge playing Tetris. You had to use big pieces, little pieces, skinny pieces, and just making it look good. So this is a first for me, but you can see I have extra concrete behind the pad here, or behind the fireplace here. That's where I'm going to stack all of my firewood later. The chickens decided they wanted to hop in. I got a little fire grate from Menards on the inside. That's nice to keep your firewood up so that it gets oxygen and burns and draws well. So you'll need a little fire grate on the inside, but it's kind of taking shape. I got the mantle in, and then I did put caps on the top and inset and build up my flue around that piece that was sticking up. I did that the same way. I just kept building the CMU blocks up and then put the stone on. So here it is. It's getting really close, starting to kind of clean up a little bit, almost complete here. And then the next photo, this is complete. This is my final product. I just kind of came up with the design, the height. I didn't have a specific height. I just built it to what I liked and what I thought looked good. We got some patio furniture here. My mantle was just a rough sawn timber I got from a buddy, stained it, drilled holes in it, and popped it onto those rebar pieces that were sticking out. This is kind of a further back view of the whole area with the patio furniture setup. Haven't got the TV mounted yet, but I do have power in there. You can't see it there, but you will here in the future. This is the first night enjoying it, and then this is with the TV up once the power was connected, watching baseball. Here's a video hanging out with the dog. We were watching a movie, having a glass of wine, and the cat. Fire's going, it's drawing up nice. Everything was working great. I was super happy with how it worked out. So I would do it again. All right, guys. So that's the outdoor fireplace. I know I went through that pretty fast, but the good thing about this platform is you guys can leave me questions in the comments. Ask me anything. I am far from a mason, so judge if you want. That's fine. Who knows? Maybe in 5 years this thing will fall down, but I can tell you what, it's already been a year, and we love every bit of it. So I think you should definitely tackle your project and build it. Overall, it wasn't horribly expensive. You know, the concrete, the slab was the most expensive deal, and then the actual mason, the stone on the front was expensive. But depending on what you do, the structure itself, CMU blocks are super cheap. So get a couple pallets of those. You're going to go through a lot of them. One of my biggest mistakes, and this is going to sound so silly, but one of the things I regret the most is I don't like gloves. And I did not wear gloves. Oh my gosh, that mortar and those CMU blocks tore my hands up. They were in rough shape for like a month and a half after. So wear your gloves, get after it, go ahead and build it. Don't be afraid of it. Just wing it. I mean, obviously you can see I didn't do everything perfect, but it turned out great. So anyways, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. If you have suggestions on how you'd like me to change in the future, please drop a comment. I'm open to that. I do plan on doing some future videos where I'm actually actively building things, but I started the channel after I built some of those things and I didn't want to leave them to the wayside because I thought they turned out pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, bye.